This is Sean of SeanConrad.com. Listen to me. Does hip hop work against its own people? Think about that. Does hip hop work against its own people? I grew up in hip hop. I love hip hop. I still do. I think the craft, the art of rhyming and making music and doing things lyrically, verbally, I think is one of the most fascinating things ever. But I remember back in the day when I was driving in my car and instead of what was normally on the radio, which at the time was like De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest, they played a song that was like a lot heavier. They had to bleep out the curses, and this was on daytime radio. And when I heard it, I instantly said to myself, this is going to change a lot of things. Whoa, this is going to change a lot of things if this is going to play primetime daytime radio. And it did. Listen, I'm not here to blame hip hop. That's not what I'm here to do. I started listening to hip hop music way back in the day when my aunt bought me some records. King Tim III, Super Rhymes, and these records where these guys were rapping. And I was really young. I was like, wow. My aunt bought me some gems. These are gems. And you try to learn those rhymes. And then the more I got into the craft, in New York, we used to listen to a station called WHBI. It used to come on real late, Mr. Magic on WHBI. And we set our tape deck up to record when that radio show came on. And you try to stay awake so you could hit record when that radio show came on. And the rappers back then, they were talking about things like fly cars, jewelry, and fur coats, and things that they saw other artists on television doing. Like for me, and you let me know if you can relate to this if you go back this far. But when rappers wanted to wear rings, big jewelry, lots of jewelry, fur coats, in my opinion, they were trying to emulate Liberace. There was this guy, Liberace, this white dude, play the piano. He wore a lot of jewelry, a lot of expensive stuff. And for me, it's just my opinion, I felt like a rapper was trying to say that he has that same stuff because that was the lifestyle that was on television. So it was a lot about coming up with lyrics that rhyme and work together, but a lot of it was made up. Dudes used to rap about having Cadillacs and didn't have a car to their name. Dudes used to rap about girls they had, a long line of girls they had. There was no girls flocking to dude. You just put it in your rap because it sounds cool and it's fun. And you made the words rhyme. But I'm telling you, when hip hop started going from battle rapping, I'm talking battle rapping like Kool Moe Dee, Busy Bee, right? I am better than you at this thing that we do. When it went from that to if you mess with me, I will end your life. I knew things were going to change. I knew things were going to change. And what's crazy is when I finally got on the scene, way back and I got signed to my record label, the people running the record label and the people who owned it didn't look like me. That's okay. That's okay. But when I think about it now, it's like, hey, you guys have something cool. And we're going to use you guys and girls to take advantage of this cool thing that you do. And we're going to make a whole bunch of money from it. Not we, the artists, we, the record label, the people who own the music that don't look like me, the person who's doing it. But it's okay. But let me tell you something. It may be different today, but when I got my record deal, we were so happy for the possibility of being heard on the radio. But we all have whack deals. All of us. When I say we, if you was on Tommy Boy, Wild Pitch, any one of those small labels, Select Records, you probably had a whack deal. I don't know if any of these artists talked about it, and it's okay if they didn't, because you know it's kind of private, but I'm telling you about it. I was on Tommy Boy with Queen Latifah, De La Soul, Digital Underground. After me was Naughty by Nature. We had whack deals. And I'm going to tell you how the deal was whacked. Because for every dollar that was made on our record, they was giving us 2 cents, 3 cents, 6 cents. The other rappers can deny this if they want, but I'm telling you, this was across the board. I would see Guru, may he rest in peace, in the club. Kid and Play in the club. Common. Hey, what's up? We was all right there. We got record deals. We're going to be on the radio. But our deals were whack. They were just using this genre, this energy, this ability to verbalize for profits. I know that's not anything new, but it just has me thinking with everything that's going on today. You know? So getting back to that point where it was like, oh, we're going to go from De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest and Digital Underground, and we going to get gangster with this thing because we see, and they start putting that on the radio, and it's successful, not because I have distribution ability. They have distribution ability. They're taking my lyrics, allowing it to be on wax, and distributing it all over the world. I can't do that. Now, as an artist, these artists that were after me, you're saying all this stuff, calling women out of their names, talking about money, and you're going to shoot this guy if he looks at you wrong, and your crew is deeper than this crew, and what's going to happen if you ever see this crew in a club? And you're like, wow, I'm making a lot of money at this. Because it's kind of like, I hate to make this analogy, but it's like you go to a place and see an exotic animal. It's caged, but they're going to make a lot of money having people pass by, pay a fee to get in to see these exotic animals. And please don't get me wrong, and don't twist what I'm saying. I'm not saying hip hop artists are animals or anything like that. I'm just saying the concept of we're going to put this out and make a whole lot of money, and don't worry, we'll give you like 2 cents on the dollar, right? You understand what that means, right? When an artist says, I made it, I sold 1 million copies, he doesn't get $1 million, right? It's like he has to pay back the label for whatever limos he had, whatever upfront money he had for wardrobe, whatever he borrowed to flaunt in this car, whatever house was rented, that has to all go back, right? So the artists, the creators, they're like, yeah, I'm balling. You're not balling. The label's balling. You're just dancing. You just dancing on the videos. You just dancing. You just dancing and people like to look at you dancing. Or hanging out with your boys, or pushing your boys, or pulling out guns, because we can see it from the comfort of our own homes. We're not threatened. So now you got years of this, hey, free speech. This is what happens in my hood. I'm going to put it on record. I rap about realness. And it's out there on the videos, and people look through the thick glass from their homes and see us acting the fool. Not everybody, but a lot of it is like, wow, you know, we got the cup in the video, we sipping, we're drunk, right? We're flashing the guns because we want to show the next crew that the next crew shouldn't mess with us because our crew is bigger. How has that worked out? How has that worked out? When people are not in the comfort of their own home, looking through the 10-inch glass, they act funny around us. It's like, whoa. LeBron James up close is a big guy. He's a pretty big guy, right? Now we people like me, you know, people like you, we have to prove that we're a non-threat. Because of everything that's on the videos every day. Yo, son, say it in my face. I got beef with this guy. We saw this guy, blah, blah, blah. We pulled out on his whole crew. I have to make sure, I have to overly make sure that I appear as a non-threat to people out there. Now, some of you may be saying, man, don't do all that. Be yourself. Keep it real. I don't have time to be in beef with people. I don't have time to be in risky situations. This person's looking for me. Oh, I'm gonna call my boy. I'm just not there. We have situations, sometimes we get pulled over and the person pulling us over has gotten a really good dose of some dope ass, very popular hip hop urban videos. And they're like, oh, where's the 10-inch glass? Let me get ready to protect myself. So I am not blaming the genre that I love. But I do want to ask you to think about whether or not hip hop has worked against its own people. Hip hop is dope. Still love it. But has it worked against us? It's not just the music. And I've been reflecting on this for a while. And I want you to think about this. Keep this in mind, whoever you are watching this right now. What do you think happens if you put any set of people in a closed environment? Any color, any height, any weight. You put them in a closed environment. What's closed? I don't know, a neighborhood, projects, a gated area, a certain part of town. Maybe a certain part of town that doesn't have the best upkeep People are not making sure that part of town is upkept. What do you think happens after a while when a bunch of people, any color, you pick the color, a bunch of people are concentrated in a tight area? What do you think happens? They develop ways to make it to the next day. This is with any color, race, nationality. They will develop ways that they communicate, the way they speak to each other. They will develop ways to make it, to feed their families. Because that's what happens, right? They're kind of sectioned off. And after a while, when you're sectioned off, you kind of feel like that's out there. Screw them. How do we make it happen in here? So you do what you got to do. Any color, focus, any color. So when you have this type of situation, even if, you can apply what I'm saying to anything, any group of living things that are sectioned off will develop a way to make it to the next day and take care of their families. Right? Just marinate on that for a second. So when you drive down the street and you see somebody and it appears that they are homeless, it appears that they are not well off, that they're struggling a bit, do you think that same person was like, I'd rather be doing this? I don't want to have money to buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner and put a roof over my head. I'd rather be out here in the street. I'd rather just be getting high and looking for something to eat over the next 3 days. You think so? If you do, I think you're wrong. I think that based on circumstances, and hang on, I know where you're going. There's proof of many people from various races, right? Any color that have made it. Well, for me, whatever career I'm in that is high level, there's 2 to 5 of me in the whole company. There's 2 or 5, maybe 7 guys that made it, right? And you're suggesting, well, why doesn't everybody else do that? You did it, Sean. There's something that shows people there's not room for all of you. There is no room here for all of you. There's room here for some. Because the balance is off. You can walk in the building and see the balance is off.